Welcome back to Free Day of Yoga, or welcome to Free Day of Yoga. This is 2025, and this is my first presentation of an online labyrinth walk. So it's labyrinth tracing, also known as a finger labyrinth, because we'll do a labyrinth walk with our hands. But first, I just wanted to do a little bit of an introduction, and that is to let you know, a few things. Let's see. One, this is a beautiful spiritual practice. It's a meditation practice. If there's anything that helps you get into a more meditative or spiritually aligned space, then I would encourage you to do that. So, for example, I have my candle lit here just to kind of say, all right, we're entering a container of this class, of this workshop, and also the container of the labyrinth. It is a container for you to take yourself on a journey. So labyrinths, I'm going to pull up a picture. I'm sure you all have yours, hopefully. This is a 11th Circuit medieval labyrinth from the Chartres Cathedral, and this is one kind that is replicated in places both sacred and secular all across the world. You might have this is the one that your PDF is if you got it from the email, but just know there's lots of different kinds of labyrinths, but the thing is it's not a maze. So there is one way in and the same way out. There's no dead ends. So a maze is kind of you versus the maze, figuring things out, and this is an opportunity to just keep going. The path is held for you. There's no conflict between you and the space. The space holds you to do your walk or to do your tracing. So usually they're laid out on the ground. Today we're doing finger labyrinth or labyrinth tracing so that we can join each other online from anywhere. However, there is a labyrinth locator. You can look up to find a labyrinth near you to do a full labyrinth walk. And I'm curious to know in the chat here, let me know if you've done a labyrinth walk or labyrinth tracing. I'd love just to see who's here who has done any kind of labyrinth work. You don't need to have done anything. This is completely beginner. It's my first time teaching this. So if this is your first time doing it, we are on the same page. Robin has done both labyrinth tracing and out in the world. Yeah, good. I love walking labyrinths and using the figure labyrinth. Yeah, you can buy them. There's handheld ones that are large, made of wood. This is a small one. It was a gift from a dear friend, right? And so it's like tracing. I kind of think of labyrinth tracing kind of like how it makes you feel good when you doodle and just let your mind go. And it's similar to yoga in that you get your body moving in a direction and it calms the mind, which takes you on an inner journey towards your inner wisdom. And here today is a pilgrimage of the heart. So let's see what's coming in. Love walking labyrinths, have done both. Yes, 5 Oak Ranch. Yeah, I've done walking labyrinths. Good. So we have various levels and amounts of experience. It's all welcome here. Labyrinths are like I said, neither sacred nor spiritual. They are on every continent, and they have been part of every culture. So that means they are a gift to humanity. No one person or one type of people owns labyrinths. They are for all of us. And we get to walk them going inwards. It's a pilgrimage. So one thing that they have been used for in the past is an opportunity for people who wanted to make a pilgrimage. Let's say they wanted to go to Jerusalem or Mecca or Chartres or any place that they wanted to go, but maybe they couldn't afford to go. Maybe transportation wasn't possible, especially certain times of history. So you walk a labyrinth with the intention of as if you're going there. So wherever we decide our pilgrimage is going, we can make that our intention. So today it's to the heart, but you can have it be anywhere you want it to be. There's really no wrong way to walk a labyrinth. It does help to know some of the structure around labyrinth walking. And I'm going to give an introduction, but just know there are as many ways to walk a labyrinth as there are people here on the earth and showing up here. I'll tell you this, my personal story of labyrinths, I think my first introduction was in about 2012, the yoga studio where I was working at the time, Yoga. We had a staff party at one of the owners' houses, and there was a labyrinth there. And I remember going, what is that? It just looked like, I mean, it was a big circle with a path drawn in through rocks. And we were invited to just go walk the labyrinth. And I sat and watched for a while. And then I walked it, my takeaway from that one was how beautifully it reflected the life, a life journey that you're walking. And sometimes you get closer to the center, maybe kind of the essence of what you know you're there to do, maybe closer and closer to divine, maybe closer to who you are. And then then all of a sudden you're thrown back out and you're far away from it. And I really kind of understand that is part of life. Sometimes we feel close to our center. Sometimes we feel far. But my invitation was to have the faith that the center is always there. And then walking it with others made me realize, wow, I'm just walking life with so many different pilgrims, so many different people here. And sometimes we're walking right alongside of each other, right? Part of life together. And then sometimes we go off. I mean, how many friends do you have where you walked alongside each other for a season and then you divide out, you go and do things, and then, oh, look, here we are again, walking together. So I think that's what's special about walking and doing things in community like this, is it can be a metaphor for the other relationships in your life. Not to mention that as soon as we create this space and this opportunity, then it is its own sacred container. So the labyrinth, so let's see, I was introduced to it in 2012. Again in 2014. It just keeps coming back to my life. And then around 2022, I had been really doing them during COVID, a lot outside. And then I developed 3 workshops that we called Walking with Divine Feminine. And this is where we kind of had, the first one was Mary Magdalene, and we had Teresa of Avila. I think the third one was canceled for heat. But we kind of invoked the energy and the teachings of these 2 amazing women and their divine feminine energy. And we brought that to Labyrinth and yoga. And so I was really just starting to play with it then. And then I decided that I wanted to go to Chartres, where they have kind of the most famous of these labyrinths. So I became an actual pilgrim. And I took a trip there last year, and it was life-changing for me. Just being in the whole space, doing the walk with other pilgrims, literally pilgrims from all over the world, walking together in that space. And, it's a long story for another time, but something deep inside of myself healed. And I just thought, I have to keep doing this. I have to keep going. And how can we do this together? And so again, I'm so appreciative of you coming, because this is my first step over the threshold into this journey of walking labyrinths together. And I'll tell you this, I am hoping and planning, I'm planning to bring a group to Chartres with me to do yoga and labyrinth for a week in October. So just keep an eye out for that. If you are really interested in continuing with this, I'm going to make more and more opportunities for that. That's my intention, as well as local walks and online. So, I always like to enter a labyrinth as if it's going to be mind-blowing. Just know sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. But something will happen. Something happens. Either something big or small, but just open your heart and open your mind to what may come. So let's go into the parts of labyrinth walking. Okay. What we're going to do today is we're going to prepare our bodies to walk. The last labyrinth I walked very recently, my mind was very, very busy, very, very chattery, as minds are. And I just had to let it go. I wanted to have some quiet. I really wanted to have an intention. I wanted, and I wasn't getting. So I just let my mind be busy. And then eventually a clear question came through for me. And the question was, what is the purpose of yoga? And my quick response was to address the needs of the body, yoga asana specifically, address the needs of the body. What is the purpose of labyrinth? To address the needs of the soul. And I went, okay. So that's what this is for me in this walk. And I think it remains true that this is a beautiful spiritual practice that can get you right into the Anandamaya Kosha. So those of you who are in our first class this morning, the Anandamaya Kosha is that soul level, the deep spirit, where you're really connected to your big S self. And whatever word you use for that, it's that inner quiet. So that's the idea of that inner room of the labyrinth. And then the yoga is the physicality to prepare you. So we're going to prepare our body, and we'll prepare the space, and then we will walk. It happens, you can think of this in several parts. There is first a threshold where you walk up to the edge of the labyrinth, or you approach the edge of the entrance of your labyrinth. And this is where you might bring a question, right? Every quest, this is like going into a quest within. Every quest begins with a question. You might have one. There might be a question on your heart about what you need to do. What could be something simple in life, like what choice, maybe an A-B choice. Maybe there's something, a bigger question in your heart. And you don't have to have a question. You might even just approach it with an openness to receive your questions. I think often Labyrinth gives us more questions than answers. And so you might just open yourself to a question. But there will be an invitation to bring your question or open to one. And then we enter the labyrinth. And as you enter, you'll begin tracing your finger, or you might like to use a pencil or a pointer. And I'll have some music playing to support us. But as you're going in, one way to think of the inward journey is a letting go. This is where we're releasing what we come in with. We're releasing things we're holding on to, releasing, letting go. Eventually, you'll find yourself in the center. And in that center is as if you've made it to the center of the heart. You're in that inner sanctuary. And what resides there for you? So you sit, you give yourself some time, some quiet. Just be there. When the feeling is right, when you know it's right for you, then you begin to leave. And as you're coming back out, you're opening to assimilate what the first part of the journey was. Maybe you'll get a new wisdom. Maybe there will be more letting go for you to do, but something shifts as we head back away from the center and out back into the world. And from there, my invitation would be to reflect. So hopefully you have a journal or something to write nearby so that if there is a question or there is some wisdom that arises for you in this, that you have a place to capture it there at the end. One thing I know about this is it takes as long as it takes, but I'll give us about 15 or 20 minutes. That's usually how long a labyrinth takes, and then some time to reflect as well. Okay. Yes, there's a question in the chat. The pilgrimage for all of us to go to Chartres in October of 2026. So not in a couple of months. So you'll have some time to think about that. Thank you for that question, Jill. Okay. So let's begin. First, prepare the body. Okay, so back up. I'll back up until you can see, but I want you to be able to access your feet. So we may be doing the labyrinth walk with our hands, but I want you to access the feet. So if you're sitting in a chair or seated, that's fine. Just begin, roll the shoulders a couple times. I just think it's always a nice way to kind of settle in. Okay, and then close your eyes or lower your gaze. Begin to slow the breath or bring your mind to your breath. Become mindful of your breathing. Feel the breath at the end of your nose as you inhale. Get the awareness of the feeling in your body as you fill up. Exhale is a complete letting go. Just a couple more times. Stay with your breath. The sacred text that supports yoga is called the Yoga Sutras. And the very first Yoga Sutra says, now yoga begins, or now begins an exposition of the sacred art of yoga. Let your body become a container for the sacred art of yoga. Let your breath be the flow within the container. With each exhale, allow the separation between yourself and yoga as a sacred art dissolve. You are the yoga. Next thing we can invite into our space is a sacred sound. And I would invite you to choose your sacred sound. I'll chant Om. You might also prefer the word Shalom or Amen, or even one of the seed sounds of a chakra that is speaking to you. Or let's bring palms together. Take a deep breath in. Exhale all the way. Breathe into chant. Om. Surrender your head to your heart. Lower your hands. Bring one leg up. Holding your leg across. And of course, if this isn't accessible for your hips, you just do it down lower with your ankles crossed. Just roll your ankle. Now, our attention matters. We say in yoga, your prana goes where your attention goes. So putting your attention on your foot, let's just take a moment and marvel at the foot. And then take each toe and wiggle each little piggy, just give them little twists, drawing life force all the way down to your feet. Give that big toe some nice circles. And then slip your fingers between each toe and give a little bit of a squeeze. I know this isn't comfortable, but it will be when we're done. Just do your best. And keep your gaze on your body as you do this. So there's an embodiment to what you're doing. You're not doing this to someone else's foot. This is your pilgrim foot. Good. Release and wiggle those toes. Now with your hand, press your heel and press your heel back into your hand. Just some gentle pressure there, heel into hand. And you'll notice that can help get the femur into the hip socket a little bit better. Now, if your hips are tighter, your bones are differently shaped than mine, your knee might be up, and that's okay. Still, putting the effort of the foot into hand into foot is going to wake up the muscles of the leg a little bit. Now, if your knee is down low enough, I would invite you to lift tall and just tilt forward. Tilt forward until you feel a little stretch in that hip. Good. Be sure your attention is inward on the experience of your hip without comparing to the experience of mine. And inhale to come up. And exhale, twist so that other hand comes across to your heel. And you can pull on the heel a little bit to help you twist to look behind you. Keeping your shoulders twisting at a gentle head roll. My intention with this little bit of yoga warm-up is to kind of access all the places in the body where we tend to hold on, so that when we enter the labyrinth, we feel the flow of energy in our body more freely. Go the other way with your head. And then unwind and let that foot come back to the floor. Pause. Notice how you feel differently on each side. And here we go. Other leg comes across. Just roll the ankle, keeping a nice gaze on your body as you do. And give each toe a little wiggle. And you're addressing your body like you would address your best friend. So you're not, at this moment anyway, judging your pedicure. You're loving your feet. Okay, take your big toe and give it some nice circles. Notice when releasing one area of your body, there's tension somewhere else. So for me, I know when I wiggle my toes, sometimes I feel tight in my jaw. If that's like you, if you're like me, you just click the tongue, release your jaw. These are things we notice. All right, now press your fingers between your toes. Get in there and give a little bit of a loving embrace. Again, keep your eyes on your body. Return to some deep breathing. That breath is your communication to your energetic self, which in Western science we would call nervous system. In the sacred art of yoga, it is your energetic self. The breath is that communication. Good. Okay, release. Do some finger or some toe wiggles. Now with your hand, press your heel and press your heel back into your hand. Lift up tall and give a little lean forward. Just a little hip stretch here. Again, where if there's tension that rises, maybe that gets you in the neck or jaw, or even if it makes your brow furrow, that's just the tension trying to go and settle someplace else. Just say, oh, thanks. No, you can go. You can do horse lips. That's a great way to release tension in the face. Okay, inhale to come up. And then twist. So hand comes across to that heel. Twist in that direction. With your breath in, the heart is high. And with the breath out, and just turn and look behind you. And then add the gentle head roll. Go the other way. And release. Now we will be using our fingers, so let's get those warmed up. Place one hand down. It can be on your leg, or if you're seated on the floor, there in front of you. Draw your, pinky. Draw your pinky finger back. Give a little stretch there. And then release. Go to the ring finger. Gosh, whenever I get into these hand and finger stretches like this, it makes me realize I tend to ignore them. Right? I do a good job with my down dogs, but my fingers don't get this much love. Release. Go to the middle finger. So again, you're doing this as if you're doing to your best friend. You're not trying to hurt your finger. You're just feeling the stretch, helping the finger open up a little bit. Let go, come to the index finger. And the thumb. And then just piano fingers. Get all of them going. And roll the wrist. And the elbow. And the shoulder. Just get as fluid as you can. Good. Inhaling, sweep that arm up. Exhaling to the side. Just a nice swipe overhead and back and down. Good. Okay, other hand. So take that pinky finger back. Again, a soft gaze on your hand. Be where your body is. Release. Draw the ring finger back. Finger labyrinth is like walking a labyrinth is a walking meditation. We're called to presence. When we do it outside, release. Draw the middle finger back. You'll feel or hear the crunch of the stones and sticks and leaves under your feet. Release. Draw the index finger back. But here we won't have that kind of feedback. So we're warming up so we can, at any point in the finger labyrinth, release, draw the thumb back. We can call our attention back to where our body is in space, where the finger is or what you're doing. I don't know about you, but often I'm not where my body is. Release. Good. Wiggle your fingers. And the wrist. All these little miracles. And the elbow. And the fluidity of the shoulder. Just let it go. Yeah. Very serpentine. Good. The Zoom room looks great. And inhale, that arm goes up. And exhale over to the side. Good. Inhale to rise. And release down. We'll do a little bit of tapping just at the heart center. We're doing a pilgrimage into the heart. It'd be nice to know where we're feeling into. So I invite you to close your eyes, keeping your breath deep. Tap at heart center. So we take a pilgrimage into the heart. We're going into Anahata, the heart chakra. And this is where we house love, compassion, joy, radiance, relationship. And it's also where we might find a shadow of grief. Every emotion is welcome on the labyrinth. Every emotion might be present throughout your chakras, the energetic centers of the body. So here, just be loving to yourself. And release, just notice how you feel. Good, let's prepare the space of your yoga, of your labyrinth. So place it on a flat surface in front of you. Okay, unless you're using a handheld labyrinth, well, then still put it on. Here's what I want you to know. These labyrinths are not two-dimensional. Yes, it's a two-dimensional piece of paper, but we can build a world around it. We can build a dome so that you'll see it is a three-dimensional experience. So let's rub palms and deepen the breath. Quicker, make some heat. Build some energy. And we're going to change this labyrinth from being a piece of paper to a sacred space. This is a container for your meditation. So now release your hands and feel the energy between your hands. Just notice that there's a place where they'll come closer and closer together, and then they'll almost have repelling. So it's as if you're holding a ball of energy. And when you have a sense of that, and place this ball of energy right there over the labyrinth. And then holding a labyrinth image in your hands, you kind of dome up and around like this. So you're making half a sphere, right? Like a dome over your labyrinth. And then also under, slide one hand under, one hand over, and feel the space between your hands there. Right? If you're one who likes to give blessings, bless the space. Or just invite deep intention. Once you feel like you have a sense of this labyrinth as a sacred place, then get either your tracer or just your finger and approach the threshold. Go to the beginning. Place your finger at the beginning of the labyrinth and ask yourself, what is my question? What is my quest? What am I bringing into the labyrinth? Close your eyes and listen to your deepest knowing that stands at the beginning. When you feel ready, begin tracing the path in. And I will let this time go all the way till you go to the middle and pause and come back out. So we'll just listen for about 15 or 20 minutes. Just take a couple more moments. Of course, take as long as you need. Be sure and write down anything that came to your mind or heart that you'd like to recall. Whenever that feels complete, and please do not rush. Let's rub our palms again. Just acknowledge for a moment what came up for you, or just that you showed up at all. And then take your left hand across to the opposite side of your neck for a lovely massage here. This can be part of the assimilation process, the integration. As you squeeze down the arm, letting the hand come down as you go. And press from the heel of the hand to the base of each finger with loving gratitude for walking for you today. Squeeze from the base of each finger out to the tip. And you give a little shake. And then the other side. Come to the back of the neck with a little massage. And coming down the shoulder and the arm. And press like you're rolling glue or honey off your palm. And from the base of each finger out to the tip. There's minor chakras in the hands that are connected to the heart. So give that a little love, a little shake. And placing one hand on the upper chest, one hand on your low belly. Turn to the feeling, the embodiment of your breath. With deep gratitude for the sacred art of yoga, the ancient practice of Labyrinth. Let's chant one time to close this container, as we know that this is the beginning of what comes next. So again, take a deep breath in. Exhale all the way, and breathe in to chant. Deep gratitude. Thank you.